thought about, is it really going to happen? You know, I know I only need 2 threes, and you know, on any other day, any other game, it seemed like it would happen just like that. I didn't have to think about it, but you know, that second 3 almost, it seemed like it was slow motion for me because I seen the whole thing develop. And as I've gotten older, I've played the game and I could see it somewhat in second motion, so to speak, where the ball kind of comes so slow, like somebody's slow motion on TV. And that's exactly how I felt, because the minute we got to stop and Rondo got the ball, in my mind, it was like it started. And I said to myself, this is it. And then when Rondo took the ball up, I knew what he was thinking. You know, we've seen it 1,000 times. I know he knows where I am. And, you know, so many people ask me over the last couple of weeks, you know, who's going to make that pass? And I said, it's a no-brainer. You know, I knew it would be Rondo, you know, because he starts breaking us so many times. So when I got the ball and I let it go, it was like, you know, I felt so good behind it that once the ball went in the air, it was like I knew it was good. You know, one earlier that I missed, I felt the same way about that, but it didn't go in. But that one, when I let it go, it was like, this is money. It was a feeling that it was definitely a magical moment. You know, just being in this building, the support that I've had coming into this moment, to this situation, I almost felt a little embarrassed because there was, you know, so much attention that was surrounding this three-point record, and I've never really experienced as much because this is a team sport, and you know, very rarely do you get that emotional individual support. So it was so overwhelming, but it was a great moment. You know, I'll remember this for the rest of my life.
Was it more overwhelming than you thought it was going to be? You mentioned the anticipation of being counted down 30, 20, 10. I mean, was it more of a moment than you had pictured it being?
Yeah, it was, and it was all about the fans in Boston. It was all about the fans in Boston. And, think about anything that I've ever done in my career. The stage here was set, and everybody was ready. You know, going back a game or so ago in Charlotte, the stage wasn't there, and I knew people wanted to see me do it. And if I did it, I did it. But the stage here was set. You know, when I ran out on the floor and you know saw all the signs and all the people, there's just so much in anticipation of this record, and I just really didn't understand until that moment, like how big it was. You know, coming into the game, obviously the game was already big enough with who we played and being on national TV. So, like I said, it's a moment that it's going to stay with me forever. You know, I've seen so many people talk about it coming up to this moment, and you know, somebody tell me this moment is my moment, enjoy it, and you deserve it. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I've never really had a moment that was mine. You know, I've always shared it, you know, with other guys. So it's like when we went out on the floor and you have to take individual praise for 30 seconds. I don't know how to do that because I've never had to, and this was a time where I just had to step out there and say thank you, because for a slight second it wasn't about me.